the steel matriarch, Savitri Jindal, and the empire. She never expected to lead. Most people think steel empires are built by men, tough industrialists, hardened businessmen. But in India, the richest woman in the country built her fortune from tragedy and determination. She never planned to run a business. She was a housewife and mother. But when her husband died suddenly, she had a choice: let the empire crumble or take control. This is Savitri Jindal, the steel matriarch who turned grief into a 35.5 billion fortune and became the wealthiest woman in India. The woman who never wanted power. Savitri Jindal was born in 1950 in Tinsukia, Assam, India. Today, at 75 years old, she's worth 35.5 billion and controls one of India's largest steel and power conglomerates. But Savitri's story doesn't start with ambition or business dreams. It starts with marriage, family, and unexpected tragedy. Savitri came from a modest background. She married Prakash Jindal in the late 1960s when she was just a teenager. Prakash was an ambitious entrepreneur who had big dreams of building an industrial empire. At the time, India was still developing. Infrastructure was poor. Steel was in high demand. Prakash saw an opportunity. He started small, with a single pipe manufacturing unit in Hisar, Haryana. It was hard work, long hours, tight margins. But Prakash was relentless. A former employee who worked with Prakash remembered he was a visionary. He saw India's future before anyone else. He knew steel would build this country. Savitri stood by his side, but not in the business. She focused on raising their 9 children and managing the household. She was a traditional Indian wife and mother. A family friend said Savitri never wanted to be in business. She wanted to raise her children well and support her husband. That was her dream. But life had other plans. The tragedy that changed everything. On March 31, 2005, Prakash Jindal died in a helicopter crash. He was 75 years old. He was traveling to an election rally when the helicopter went down in Andhra Pradesh. Savitri was devastated. She lost her husband, her partner, her foundation. And suddenly she was thrust into a role she never wanted. Prakash had built Jindal Group into a massive conglomerate with interests in steel, power, mining, and infrastructure. The empire was worth billions. It employed thousands, and now it had no leader. The family gathered. The board met. Everyone looked to Savitri. At 55 years old, with no formal business education or experience, she became the chairperson of the Jindal Group. A senior executive who was there recalled, "Nobody knew what would happen. Some thought the business would collapse. Others thought the sons would fight for control." But Savitri surprised everyone. In one of her first statements after taking over, Savitri said quietly, "My husband built this with his sweat and blood. I will not let it fall apart. I will protect what he created." And she did exactly that. From housewife to business leader, Savitri had never run a business. She had never attended board meetings. She didn't know the steel industry or corporate strategy. But she had something more important: determination and the respect of her family. She brought her sons into leadership positions. She leaned on trusted advisors. She asked questions, listened, and learned. A former Jindal Group executive said, "Mrs. Jindal didn't pretend to know everything, but she knew people. She knew who to trust, and she made sure everyone stayed united." Under Savitri's leadership, Jindal Group didn't just survive, it grew. She oversaw expansions in steel production, power generation, and mining operations. The company built new plants. It acquired assets. It modernized operations. And it kept growing. By 2010, just 5 years after taking over, Savitri had doubled the company's revenue. Jindal Group was now generating billions of dollars annually. A business analyst who tracked the company said, "What Savitri did was remarkable. Most family businesses fall apart after the founder dies. She held it together and made it stronger." Savitri's approach was simple: trust your family, hire good people, and never stop working. She once said in a rare interview, "I didn't have experience, but I had faith. Faith in my children, faith in our workers, and faith in my husband's vision. The empire that touches India. Today, the Jindal Group is one of India's largest industrial conglomerates. It operates across multiple sectors: steel, power, mining, infrastructure, and cement. The flagship company, Jindal Steel and Power Limited (JSPL), is one of India's leading steel producers. It operates mines, steel plants, and power stations across India and abroad. JSPL produces millions of tons of steel every year, supplying construction companies, automobile manufacturers, and infrastructure projects across India. An industry expert explained, "Jindal Steel builds India. Every bridge, every building, every railway, there's a good chance Jindal Steel is in it." The Jindal Group also operates major power plants that generate electricity for millions of Indian homes and businesses. Beyond steel and power, the family has diversified into real estate, hospitality, and other ventures. A financial analyst said, "The Jindals don't just make steel. They built a diversified empire that touches nearly every part of India's economy. And Savitri oversees it all with the help of her children." The family that built together, Savitri's greatest achievement isn't just business growth, it's keeping the family united. Many Indian business families have destroyed their empires through infighting, brothers suing brothers, families splitting assets, empires crumbling. The Jindals avoided that trap. Savitri has 9 children, 4 sons and 5 daughters. She made sure they all had roles and respected each other's contributions. Her sons took leadership positions in different parts of the business. Her daughters supported in various capacities. And Savitri remained the anchor, the matriarch who kept everyone aligned. A family business consultant who studied the Jindals said, "Savitri's real genius is family management. She kept 9 children working together toward a common goal. That's almost impossible, but she did it." Savitri once explained her philosophy: "A family that works together stays together. Business is important, but family is everything." This unity has been the secret to the Jindal Group's continued success. Beyond business, politics, and philanthropy, Savitri isn't just a businesswoman. She's also a politician and philanthropist. After her husband's death, Savitri entered politics to honor his legacy. Prakash had been active in politics and had served as a minister in the Haryana state government. Savitri ran for office and won. She served as a member of the Legislative Assembly, MLA, in Haryana for multiple terms, representing the Hisar constituency. A political colleague said, "Savitri is respected in politics. She doesn't give flashy speeches, but she gets things done. She focuses on development and helping people." As a politician, Savitri has worked on improving infrastructure, education, and healthcare in her constituency. But she's also faced criticism. Some accuse her of using political connections to benefit her business. Others question whether she can balance business and politics. Savitri has always maintained that she keeps the two separate. In one interview, she said, "Business is business. Politics is service. I do both honestly." Savitri is also deeply philanthropic. The Jindal family runs several charitable trusts that focus on education, healthcare, and rural development. They build schools, hospitals, and community centers across India. They provide scholarships to underprivileged students. They support disaster relief efforts. Savitri herself has said, "Wealth is a responsibility. God gave us this. We must use it to help others." The challenges she faced. Running a massive industrial conglomerate in India isn't easy. Savitri has faced her share of challenges. The steel industry is cyclical. Prices fluctuate. Demand shifts. Competition is fierce. Savitri has had to navigate economic downturns, regulatory changes, and market pressures. The Jindal Group has also faced legal and environmental challenges. Mining operations have been scrutinized. Labor disputes have occurred. Activists have criticized environmental practices. Savitri has worked to address these issues, investing in cleaner technologies and better labor practices. A corporate responsibility expert said, "The Jindals have made progress, but there's still work to do." Savitri knows this and is pushing for improvements. Savitri has also faced the challenge of being a woman in a male-dominated industry. Steel and mining are tough, rough industries where women leaders are rare. But Savitri earned respect not by being loud or aggressive, but by being consistent, fair, and effective. An industry veteran said, "At first, people underestimated Savitri because she was a woman and a housewife, but she proved them all wrong. She's as tough as any steel baron." The legacy. She's building at 75. Savitri Jindal isn't slowing down. She still chairs the Jindal Group. She still makes major decisions. She's still working. Her children are stepping up, but Savitri remains the guiding force. A family insider said, "Savitri will never fully retire. This business is her husband's legacy. She'll protect it as long as she lives." Industry analysts predict the Jindal Group will continue growing under the next generation's leadership, with Savitri's guidance. One analyst said, "The Jindals have built something that will last generations." Savitri ensured that. She turned tragedy into triumph. Savitri Jindal proved that leadership isn't about degrees or experience. It's about courage, integrity, and love. She never wanted to run a business, but when duty called, she answered. And she built one of India's greatest industrial empires in the process. From housewife to billionaire, from grief to greatness, from the background to the throne. That's the story of Savitri Jindal, the steel matriarch who built her empire on faith, family, and resilience. If you enjoyed learning about Savitri Jindal's incredible journey from tragedy to triumph, let us know who we should feature next. The world's most powerful people often come from the most unexpected places, and their stories deserve to be told.